Alright, hello Bean Nasty and anyone else who may be following along. Welcome back to our current game of Blood War 1914 titled Operation Michael, where we are in the spring 1915. Currently doing the British turn, but bit of housekeeping. We got to finish an attack on the German turn into Paris with the force that was in Lorraine. So we'll go ahead and do that. So that's set up on the battle board. So the Germans have their commander. I didn't quite get a chance to watch the video yet, so I'm not sure who the truck was bringing in. I imagine it's maybe it was an artillery. Yeah, because if a truck brings in an infantry unit, it'll have that specific unit first strike. But yeah, it might have hauled in an artillery unit. But anyway, we'll leave things as they're set up. But if that's a mistake, we could perhaps correct that. But anyways, so they do have a effective commander or ineffective commander. So there's no terrain going from Lorraine into Paris aside from the fact that it's a city. It is a city though. So normally they would attack at a 2. Okay, that should still be correct. Yeah, so they're not at a 4 because normally they would be attacking at a 2. The effective commander would boost them to a 3, and then the artillery they're paired with would boost them to a 4. But because it's a city, the attackers get +1, the defenders get -1, so they're down to 3, 6 at 3. And then he's got 6, 7, 8 regular artillery, and then heavy artillery boosted to a 7 because it has an observation balloon. And then defending, we have our effective commander. We have 2 militia that would be boosted by the commander to a 3, but then they're also in a city, so they're boosted to a 4. So not too bad. And then our regular infantry, so they have 6, 8. So normally at 6, because they have a trench line, even though, yeah, France doesn't have defense in depth, but they do have a trench line. And then the commander boosts them to a 7. And I don't think the city modifier stacks for them according to the rules because it does say you take the highest modifier. The commanders are kind of an odd exception to that because otherwise they would be at an 8 because they would have +1 because of the city. But I'm fairly positive at least that this is, as B. Nazi put it, how you would do it because again, with the trench lines, they're normally at a 6, but the commander boosts them to a 7. So anyways, let's go ahead and roll out the attack so we can get on with the British turn. So as I said, we have 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 regular artillery. And then we got the 6, 7, 8, yeah. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and then the heavy artillery at 7. So they're all first strike. So the heavy artillery hits, that's 1 hit, and then we got 2. So 2 first strike hits. So I'll lose, can't take the truck. I'll lose the 2 militia. Yeah, we'll do that. And then he has 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 regular infantry units. That'll all be rolling at at 3. And no hits. Perfect. That's good for us. So then, responding, we have 8 at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Whoops. I deleted the other 2. 7, 8. So 8 at 7. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 hits. So the Germans would have to lose 3 units. I will double check very quick, but I believe I was told they'd lose the infantry units. Yeah, I'm fairly. Yeah, the artillery costs more. I could, if I'm wrong on this, we'd correct it, but I'm fairly certain he would lose the infantry units. So if he takes 3 out of that stack of 6, he would be down to 3 infantry. So he said if he had a bad round 1, he would retreat. Although the trench line is still intact, so he has to. Oh, actually, he does have. Yeah, he has hurricane bombardment. Which I believe allows him to press the attack for 1 round. If you have 6 or more artillery after the first round, you may extend attack rounds versus 2 into a trench line. I mean, I think he would probably. I'm not exactly sure if he'd go for a second round. I'll just double check again. Just artillery. Okay, no, so he would retreat. Yeah, so he doesn't want to just have artillery in Paris. Yeah, so again, if that's wrong, he could take back those 3 infantry and he could lose, well, any combination of the infantry, artillery, or what have you. But I imagine that's probably what he would want to do, is lose the infantry and not the artillery, as they cost quite a bit. And everyone's limited for artillery within the new rules. Like you can only produce up to 1 for each like major factory you have. I believe is what the rule is. So yeah, I'd say based on his instructions, that didn't go as well for him as it could have at all. So, and went quite badly, even though he didn't suffer a lot of casualties. So we would just say they would retreat. So the French go back into Paris, which thankfully, remains unconquered for the time being. And the Germans would retreat with all their units back into Lorraine. So we got the heavy artillery. This guy. Yeah, I think I'll just grab a task force marker. It's starting to get a little bit crowded in there. the 4th Army. I really gotta do this with the physical board too, just to save space. So there we have it. We got the heavy artillery. Keep that balloon with it. We got the commander. Got a Jaeger. Oh, actually here. We'll add an extra one. There you go. We got the artillery. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we got 8 regular infantry. Oops. 1 colonial. And of course the truck. So there we have it. Battle's resolved. So now on to the British turn. We have 28 IPP. We're going to spend all but 1 IPP. So we'll have 1 saved. We're going to move a Dreadnought from stage 2 to completion for 4 IPP. We'll buy a Gurkha for 4 IPP. We'll buy 1, 2, 3, 4 Colonials for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A Naval Infantry for 4. An Artillery for 5. And we'll try to roll for Bulgaria and the Netherlands for 1 IPP each. Let's go ahead and do that first. So Bulgaria will be this dark green one, and the Netherlands will turn it to some shade of reddish pink. So the Netherlands, we need 3 or less to bring it up. Bulgaria, a 2 or less. So both misses. So that's it for that. In terms of attacks, we'll have a couple. So we're going to have the airship, British airship, is going to fly 1, 2, 3, attempt to bomb the factory in Bavaria, which, again, I do believe from what we discussed before, that gives there was something about terror bombing, like it'll give them an extra IPP. And then for fighters, propaganda value. Okay, so every successful strategic raid generates +1 APP to. Oh, that's. Oh, wait, that's for me. Okay. Intercept value increased to 2. Okay, and that's on a 1d6, and it hits on a 1 to a 4. Okay, so we'll roll that out first. So it hits on a 1 to a 4. So 2 damage. So factor in Bavaria. Damaged for 2. He, of course, gets to return fire on a 1. The factory, with its anti-aircraft ability, to miss on a 10. And then we'll go up, we'll add it now just so we don't forget, but +1 IPP this turn. Oh, actually, actually that couldn't have flown over there because of Lorraine. Shoot. Damn it. Shit. Okay, that's my bad. I just completely forgot, didn't even think about that. If it's all right, instead, this British airship came from Aquitaine. Oh, and sorry, it doesn't hit on a 1 to a 4. Here, let me. Okay, so it doesn't give. Okay, it still does get the propaganda value, but it hits on a 1 to 3. But we still did hit because we got a 2, so that's fine. But knowing that, I would have sent it, declared war on the Italians, and sent it. Well, actually, we already are at war with the Italians. I would have sent it to northern Italy to bomb the major factory there instead, is what I would have done. So be nasty if you're gracious enough to allow that. Then that's what I would have done. If not, that's fine as well, and I could just leave it where it was. But otherwise, the Italian major factory would be damaged for 2 IPP. So it would have went 1, 2, and then we'll just have it land 3 into southern France. Yeah, that's what I would have done with that. And then the other attack we would do. No, I think that's, well, around here, yeah, that's all we would do for. Actually, no, we'll try to attack with this, this British artillery along with an infantry and this cavalry going 1, 2. We'll attempt to attack into Afghanistan. So the cavalry is coming from Maharashtra. It's moving 1, 2. Well, it'll be mountain terrain. So we'll boost the cavalry though, so it'll still be at a 3, and the infantry will just have it at a 1, and there's 2 mountain infantry at 5. So first we have our artillery, it'll be at a 3 first strike. Miss. Then we have our infantry. As I said, it's just going to be at a 1 because of the mountain terrain. Miss. And then the cavalry would be at a 2, but it'll be at a 3 because we're boosting it. Miss. And then he has 2 at 5. And 2 hits, because that's my luck normally in this game. Shocker. So we'll lose the artillery, the cavalry, and we'll just retreat the infantry into southern India. And that'll be it for that. Or southern Persia, rather. So that's it for that attack. And otherwise, the main attack we'll be doing is we'll take the first fleet. I'm just realizing I didn't roll for tech, actually, so it's not going to affect any of the battles, but we'll do that before I forget. We'll go for armored vehicles at a 6 or higher. A success, so British move to stage 3 and have armored cars. And we'll try to go for wartime economy. And that's a miss. Okay, so as I said, the other major battle, we're going to have the first fleet. It's all going to end up in A11. We're going to have our one transport that is currently in that space. It is going to move up 1. It's going to pick up a naval infantry and a regular infantry and join the fleet there. These 2 transports will have them pick up a 2 infantry units. Well, so one of them will come out of port. It'll move 1. It'll pick up a naval infantry unit, another infantry unit, and join the fleet. And the other one, it'll pick up infantry and an artillery unit. Yeah, let's do that. And it'll move 1, 2. And I'll bring the commander with as well. We'll be declaring war on Denmark. So because we're declaring war on neutral or a country that is neutral that will affect the US, pay 5 IPP penalty. Okay, if they declare war on a neutral minor power. Okay, so that'll affect what we buy. We'll just have the British pay the penalty and we'll get rid of the artillery instead. So that'll be the 5 IPP spent. And then the Americans will go down by 2, 3, 4, 5 IPP. So they'll be at 17. So yeah, attacking the Danes. So we're going to have So I actually split off the fleet into, yeah, so we'll have a battle cruiser and two regular cruisers. Actually, no, you know what? That's fine. We'll just keep everything together. Yeah, we'll keep it all together. Okay, so we're gonna have offshore bombardment. So we have one, two, three, four, five, 6 units participating in that amphibious assault. So we're gonna have one, two, three, four, five, 6. So we'll have the 3 pre-dreadnoughts, the two pre-dreadnoughts, and a cruiser partaking in shore bombardment. So the dreadnoughts be the red. I believe they're at a 3. Or bombard at a 4. Okay, pre-dread are at a 3. Cruisers are at a 2. Yeah, and then like I said, there's so 2 at a 2, and then the cruisers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 3 at 3, 2 pre-dreadnoughts, and the cruiser. So we'll go ahead and roll those, see what we get. Okay, so pre-dreadnought hit, and then the cruiser hit at a 2 as well, but that's the one hit we needed, which is perfect. So that battle is done. So the Danes are eliminated. That becomes British, or under British occupation. Britain goes up 1 IPP to 33. And then we have all these units here. So we have, we'll chip these out. Why not? So we have 3 regular infantry. The 2 naval infantry. Okay, don't know why that's. Got the commander. And the artillery unit. And then, as I said, the first fleet is just, of course, staying in that sea zone. So that's it for combat. So non-combat, we'll take this seaplane off Maritime Air Patrol. We'll fly it 1, 2, 3. If I'm able to, I believe you could do that. Yeah, to Ireland. And if it can't fly in the same round you take it off Maritime Air Patrol, we'll just leave it in the British Midlands. Non-combat. We'll move this militia from Scotland we'll rail that down to London, and then these two infantry units in northern England will rail down to London. And yep, I think that's fine for now. And then in India, we'll walk up, or we'll rail into southern Persia. This infantry unit, this colonial in Punjab will walk into Kashmir. This one, New Delhi, will walk into Punjab. And then this one in Benares will walk into Punjab. So, oh, and is there not? Yeah, this British transport will strategic naval move at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to A5. Actually, sorry, we'll just strategic name it to A9 instead. Yeah, we'll do that. So this pre-dreadnought and a torpedo boat, those would be German. Well, Danish, but they would align to the Germans. And a torpedo boat. Those are just sitting there. And yeah, Denmark lines to Germany. And there we have it. So now just place units, I think. And we'll move this colonial from Western Egypt into Eastern Egypt. So yeah, so just place units now. So the naval infantry, go ahead and place that in the British Midlands. The dreadnought, we'll build that in A23. It's at the major shipyard in London. And then the colonials. Actually, we'll strategic naval move this transport 1, 2, 3. Damn it. 4. Yeah, 4. And we'll put it in port in Normandy. Yeah, so the Gurkha, so we'll build that in Maharashtra, one colonial there, in New Delhi, one in southern India, one in Benares, and then we'll go ahead and build one in eastern Egypt. And I want to see what a strategic naval move is. It's 4. Okay, so we strategic naval move that one and that one. That's 2. We won't strategic naval move anything else, but we'll take. We'll walk up an infantry unit from Macedonia into Serbia. Or no, we'll keep that there. We'll walk up. No, actually, we'll leave everything as is. So that's it for non-combat movements. So just collect our income. So we have 33 plus the 2 we saved for 35 IPP for the following turn. So that's it for the German or the British turn. Now we can go ahead and hand things off to the Austro-Hungarians.